Hello, this is Pamela, the Stampin' Pink Rose. And today I am doing a special request that one of my customers asked for. And that was, she said, I'm having trouble with the blends on how to shade. Now, these are the blends, and what I'm holding right now here is the light daffodil and the dark daffodil. And then I pulled out the light mango melody, and I'll explain what I use that for in a minute. They come this way with a brush tip and a fine tip. This is the fine tip, and this is the brush tip, and I'm going to be using the brush tip. So I'm going to get that out and get it open. And I'm doing the same, and it tells down at the bottom which one is which. Fine tip is here, brush is here. So now I'm going to pull those out. Now, the stamp set that I pulled for this is Lovely Lattice. It is part of the celebration item that's available. And if you want to order it, you can do so on my site. There's linkage over at stampinpinkrose.com to order any of these supplies you need. And if you have any more questions, I'm always available for questions. And you can always put a comment there or email me at Pamela@stampinpinkrose. But anyway, you are going to want to use, and let me grab it, but I've already got these stamped. You are going to want to use the Memento black ink because these are alcohol-based markers. They will leak. And I've got a piece of scratch paper I'm going to bring out and use in a minute. So you're going to want something underneath for it. But they will bleed through on the back side. I'm going to hold this over. You can see how this has already done some bleeding. And so, and that was, I stamped it one way and then I stamped it again. So, I mean, it does bleed through though. The Memento doesn't. Okay, I want to make that clear. It was just a matter that I didn't like the way this stamped, so I re-stamped it and flipped it over. So anyway, you're going to want it to dry a little bit before you go to color. Okay, so that's why I have previously stamped these already to color. Now, I will need, and I didn't grab it, I will need, if I'm going to finish this card out, and I'm not going to finish all of it. Second thought, maybe I will grab the old olive for you. Hang on. Ew. Dark one. Guess what, guys? I see my dark old olive, but not my light. And I'm going to tell you, for leaves, I have used Granny Smith too. Now, did I grab... What do you know? I grabbed an old olive. Okay, hang on. I have used, as I started to say, guys, and I apologize, but I have used old olive for the leaves, and I have used Granny Smith. So, it's whatever color you're wanting to use. But I've got a light and a dark, so I did grab it. So, that way you can see the leaves for a minute. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to start more in the center, and this doesn't have a real defined center. And what I do want is the light daffodil, and I'm just stroking it and coloring it with the light. And you don't want to do a big area with this at a time. You want to just do a little bit at once. And so I'm going to do one petal and that's it. Then I'm going to go back, and I do want to make sure. I'm going to scoot this over just a little, but it was in the camera shot. Then I'm going to take around the edge, and I call it feathering right around the edge. Okay. Just like that, right around, just gently feathering, kind of like a dab. Then I'm going to take my light, and I'm going to pull it. And I'm going to pull the flowers in. Okay. And I want to see if my... We do have a thing called a color lifter, and I went and grabbed one just so you could see. It's like this. And if you really want, you can pull some color that way. It is not required. It is absolutely not required. You can use a color lifter if you want. I don't use mine very often. That's why I didn't think to bring it out here. And I just use my light and pull. And then I will go back over with my light and more of a circular motion. Okay, we're going to do this again. So, okay, now, let's start this again so you can get with what we're doing. I'm going to go around the edge, just gently kind of feathering it, kind of like a tap, right around the edge. Okay. There we go. Okay, then I took my dark shade, and then I really kind of filled it in there around the edge. And you can use your narrow brush if you want. There is a difference between the two. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my light, and I'm going to stroke it down again. And some people will start with their dark and go to their light. It is just a question of preference and pulling. And if I want a little more color, a little more shading, it is just a matter of trying and seeing what you like best. Let's go back to the light. And I'm going right around the edge and down. Okay. I want to kind of cover my area a little bit. Now this flower over here is a bigger flower, so I'm not going to do all of it at once. You only want to do part. So now I've colored it in. Now I'm going to take the light, and I'm going to go up around, and I'm going to go down, just like that. Okay? You should be seeing this. Don't mean to make you dizzy, but let's see if I can zoom it in any more than what I've got. There. Okay. Alright, now I've got the light again, and now I'm going to swirl it. And I'm going to swirl it into the dark along with the my light. Is what I'm going to do. And if I want it a little lighter, I will just do a swirl with the color lifter, and it'll bring the color up a little. See how it's bringing it up a little? Okay. Let's do, seeing that I did bring it down closer for you for a minute. Let's do this. We'll go around the edge and around the flower. I'm doing the flower itself, just like that. The leaf is right here where my finger is. I'm going back to the dark, and I'm going to go up, right around the edge. Okay, a little bit over here. Okay, then I'm going to take the light, and I'm going to circle it. Like I'm circling, just a circling motion. Okay. Now, I hope this is showing you. Now, let me put the lids on these. And let me show you the green. I've got the light green. And now I'm going to, and on this one I've chose because I want it a little lighter. I think the brush always shows up darker. I've got the fine tip. Okay. Then I'm going to take the green fine tip and I'm going to feather it around the edge. See how I've got little strokes coming in? Excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to take the light again, and I'm going to do some circle motion. And that's going to shade it. Okay, let's do one more leaf. I've got one right here. I'm going to do the light, and I'm going to stroke it in. Remember, I'm using the fine on the leaf because I think it's easier to reach into it. Sorry. And now I'm going to feather it right at the edge. And then I'm going to take the light and I'm going to pull it and pull it downward. And that's all it is to the coloring. So what you need to do is just play with it, do some stamping on some paper that you're not going to use for anything. Give it a little try some coloring, start with the light, then do the edging with some dark, and then back to your light. So your first step is to just stroke it and color it with the light, and then go with the dark right around the edge, kind of feather it around the edge, and then go back to your light, and then do a circular motion. So hopefully this answers your question on how to do shading. If you have any questions about it, by all means, email me at Pamela@StampinPinkRose. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. I'm hoping this idea will help you enjoy stamping and enjoy using these wonderful blends